Welcome back, Patriots. Welcome back to Sons of Liberty 1773. I'm your host, Bill Bailey, who will be channeling the patriotism of America's founding fathers. Today is January 14th, 2024, year of our Lord. Well, did you see the insurrectionists show up at the Capitol in Washington, D.C.? Take a look. Those were pro-Palestinian protesters shaking the fence. Believe they did break down the fence and get somewhat onto the Capitol lawn before they were repelled. But, looks like they're guilty of insurrection. So are they going to start arresting them in the middle of the night, dragging them away from their kids and to never be seen again? Like this man here, January 6th political hostage and Army veteran William Chesterman, sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for simply walking in the U.S. Capitol, committed no violence. An Army veteran, as patriotic as they come. We got to turn this stuff around. I do see Texas has finally had enough of the invasion of our country, and they put the National Guard down there. And the invaders don't like being confronted, saying they can't come in. Watch this video. Texas is doing exactly what needs to happen. This needs to happen down the full length of the southern border. And once the invaders realize that they're not going to make it into America, period, they'll quit coming. And now they have to be, once we get Trump elected and he takes office, January of 2025, they are going to be deported by the millions. And if you think you're seeing some pushback right there because we won't let them in, imagine what they're going to do when we tell them they can't stay. It's not going to be good, folks, but they have to go. If they can't follow our laws to come into this country, if they've proven that right off the bat, we don't care about your laws. We're not going to follow legal immigration to come into your country. Then too bad. Go to the back of the line. Elon Musk is certainly no idiot, right? He sees. This is just common sense stuff anyways. You don't have to need to be a genius like Elon Musk to figure this out, that we're being invaded by millions and millions of unsavories. We don't have the resources or the housing to even deal with them to begin with. And Elon Musk posted on X, this is what happens when you run out of hotel rooms soon. Cities will run out of schools to vacate. Then they will come for your homes. And he was responding to a post by Libs of TikTok. Breaking, buses are now pulling up to Brooklyn and dropping off illegals. School is closed tomorrow because illegals will be sleeping in the school gym. This is disgraceful. New York City is prioritizing illegals over Americans. That's exactly what they're doing. And it was like the British Empire prioritizing their soldiers over Americans and said, you've got to open up your homes and let our soldiers stay with you. That's what quartering soldiers. He's talking about quartering illegals here. That's exactly what Elon is saying. He says, this is what happens when you run out of hotel rooms. Soon cities will run out of schools to vacate. Then they will come for your homes, folks. I said this in a video just a couple days ago, so I beat you to this one, Elon. Schumer and Langford are trying to make a border deal and get the Republicans to sign on, where they would increase green cards by 50,000 a year, work permits for adult children of H-1B holders, immediately work permits to every illegal alien released from custody, taxpayer-funded lawyers to certain UACs and mentally incompetent aliens, 5,000 migrants per day allowed into U.S. I think they mean illegal invaders. Restrict parole for those who enter without authorization between parts of entry. Look, they are letting these people don't see the trees for the forest. They're letting all these invaders in here, sending them to cities where they need to redistrict to move the population in the Democrats' favor and they're going to put them on the voter rolls and have them vote and try to use them to rig elections with. But what's coming, they don't see beyond that they're letting armies of fighting age men come into this country. And if they do, then they're truly treasonous bastards, aren't they? Bear with me a second, folks. I want to get into some election integrity stuff. What's going on in Michigan with the GOP, because it's going to make the national news here real quick, because it's really a messed up deal. Stick with me for a bit here. I got a lot to cover. I want to get into some election integrity stuff. What's going on in Michigan with the GOP that's fractured into two parties. It's unbelievable. This will be making the national news, and the moral degradation of our country. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, who we need fighters. We need brawlers right now. Gloves off people. We need heavyweights, not lightweights. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has certainly been a heavyweight. She says she's threatening Mike Johnson with a motion calling for his ouster if he doesn't meet her demands. And what she's pissed about is he's not doing anything to stop the invasion of this country. He's working with Chuck Schumer. He's become part of the swamp, and he's trying to push forward either a continuing resolution or a budget deal that completely funds the Democrats' continued destruction of this country. They have the power of the purse. But he is a weak-kneed, he's either part of the swamp or he's just a weak piece of crap. But I think they should just put out the motion to vacate and get rid of him now. Had high hopes for him. We gave him a chance, but bye-bye. And before I forget, tomorrow is the caucus in Iowa. We're full-on campaign swing now. I believe Trump is just going to crush it. The weather, they got hit with a blizzard there. But if Iowans are anything like us Michiganians, I'll go out in a t-shirt when it's, 5 below zero out if I've just got to go out for a little bit in the snow. We got tough hide here in the winter states. And I think the Iowans are every bit as tough as we are up here. So we embrace cold weather. We've just been seasoned for it. I've spent my whole life in Michigan, and I've been through 60 some winters now. So I love them. I eat it up. So what I don't like is the sweltering heat, when it's 100 degrees out and the humidity's through the roof, or 90. Cannot stand that. You can only take so much off. At least when it's cold out, you can dress for it, right? But the Democrats are trying to infiltrate the Iowa caucus and vote for Nikki Haley to try to make Trump's victory not look as overwhelming as we all know it is. But we are moving forward, and we are going to get Trump back in office. So let's move on here. Joe Biden is just such a serial liar, piece of shit. Excuse my language, folks, but I'm in one of those moods today. So Biden says Republicans are to blame for border collapse, claims there's no crisis of illegal immigration. Now I'm going to tell you, if you're not an informed American that's up on what the facts are, people believe this headline. People on the left, whatever Joe says, must be true. I heard it on CNN and MSN, and it's the Republicans' fault that there's open borders. Unbelievable that he gets away with this stuff. And this was what happens when there's no longer a freedom of the press. It's just state media. Truly sad. So regarding election integrity in the 2020 stolen election, this is some good news. This posted in the Georgia Record. Georgia Senate proposes bill to remove Raffensperger, that would be Rat, the Raffensperger, from State Board of Elections, and confirms board's authority to investigate the Secretary of State. Bill would require Raffensperger to cooperate in investigation. Good luck with that. Following receipt of a referral from acting state election board chairman Matthew Mashburn, the Georgia Senate has sponsored SB 358, which would confirm the state election board's power and authority to investigate the Secretary of State, Brad the Rat Raffensperger, remove him as a member of this SEB, and order him to cooperate in such investigations. Mashburn sent the referral on Thursday of this week. So that's some good news. This article posted yesterday at the Gateway Pundit by Jordan Conradson. Illinois citizen group files formal complaint with Illinois State Board of Elections. Lost votes, ghost votes, over 4 million possible registration violations. Voters shocked to see ballots have been cast in her name for years. Of course, Cook County, the Democrats in Chicago, they perfected voter fraud many, many, many years ago. They've been at it for a long time, and apparently a lot of the stuff they learned went national, especially in 2020. Listen to this now. There were over 300,000 votes from the 2020 election missing or deleted from the Illinois voter data prior to the conclusion of the federal retention period of 22 months. Over a 4-year period, Illinois' population decreased by 150,000, while the voter roll increased by 650,000. Does that math, Common Core math we're using here, folks? Over 2.5 million people had votes cast prior to their registration dates. More than 230,000 registrations show seemingly illegal or illogical registration dates. There are more than 4 million apparent registration violations out of 8.9 million registrations. And we're dealing with this stuff as we're 10 months away from taking our country back. Election's going to be a real problem this year, folks. And I'm going to tell you, the politicians, all those people that, especially the rhinos, okay, they probably knew there were problems, but they just don't like Trump, right? So they've all elected to do nothing. I mean, you've seen that BS report filed by Ed McBroom, where he basically was in bed with Dana Nessel here in Michigan and said there is no widespread election fraud. Now we've learned about GBI and the massive ballot application registration fraud that was going on that Dana Nessel knew about, and Jocelyn Benson. They took it from the state police investigating and gave it to the FBI, because that's where election integrity investigations go to die, and then went on parroting there is no evidence of widespread election fraud when clearly there was. That's just a fact. So now we're heading into election, and the politicians have did nothing to fix and restore election integrity. It's a status quo. It's even worse. I think the system's even more rigged now than it was in 2020. And so when the chaos erupts, which is coming after this next election, like the next day after, whenever they call who the winner is, the crap is going to hit the fan. The politicians can live with the fallout from this because they're responsible. Because if they had the wisdom of Solomon, they'd say, you know what, I don't agree with, maybe there was a little bit of problems with the machines, or there's a little bit of fraud, but it didn't change the outcome. The fact is, the American people do not believe that. They're actually smarter than you politicians. But even if the politicians, that's their belief. I mean, they're right to believe what they want. They have to use common sense that, hey, I don't think there's a problem, but it looks like in polling now, 60 to 70% of Americans no longer trust the electoral process. We've got to do something to restore faith in the system. And it's so simple. But, when hundreds and millions of, probably billions of money enter the picture between seedy voting machine companies with software made in China, but, the money, and they pay politicians tens and millions of dollars to put their equipment in their state. And, the whole system becomes corrupt. And the voting machines, they're not simple calculators, right? That should just, add stuff, add votes. They're sophisticated computer programs that can manipulate data and give the results that they want. So why are those capabilities in the machines? To begin with. And being that they're in there, why are they allowed to be used? Did you see Taiwan? Did you see how Taiwan does it? It's so simple to restore election integrity. We just go back to the way we did it for over 200 years, right? Paper ballots, hand counts, same-day voting, voter ID. The only people that can vote by mail are deployed military personnel or somebody that's got an actual disability that they cannot go to the polling location. That's it. System restored. Everybody trusted again. But, you'd have to get rid of the machine companies and all the and the rigged system, and it'd have to go back to being an honest electoral process. And we have corrupt politicians and a communist party that pulled a coup on November 3, 2020 that wants no such thing. But look at Taiwan, folks. This everybody should watch this. Let me tell you what they're doing there. She's holding up, they vote on paper, no machines, no voting machines. The public is welcome into the room when the votes are being counted. People from both sides, both parties, they hold up the ballot and they yell out the winner twice. That's what they're repeating. Then they give it to somebody to tally the vote. They put it in the pile of who that vote was for. Everybody's right there watching it. It cannot be any more transparent. That's what they are doing there. Okay, so here's what's going on in the Michigan Republican Party. There's a lot of committee district chairs and committee members that are not happy with Christina Caramo's performance on raising money when we're in such a crucial election year. I mean, we should have $50 million, okay? The Michigan Republican Party should have $30 to $50 million to win this election, because there's an open Senate seat. Debbie Stabenow is vacating, and we have to get Trump elected. If the Democrats win, our country's gone, okay? So the most crucial election cycle ever. So they think Christina is failing, and she is as far as raising money. The Michigan Republican Party has no money. Christina shines as a speaker, and I just wish the Republican Party would get their act together, because we have the right players. We could put together a killer team. Instead of fighting who gets the power, why don't you take the best people and put them in the positions where they will shine? Like Christina would be the spokesperson for the Michigan Republican Party. Nobody's a better speaker than Christina Caramo. We can get someone else to do the fundraising. Matt DePerno could do the legal. We have a killer crew, but there's just infighting between everybody. So people see real problems with the Caramo Republican-led Michigan Republican Party. So they called together a meeting and got together enough of the district committees, from around the state, and they held, to my understanding, a completely legal meeting. They followed the bylaws. They made a vote, and it was overwhelming to remove Christina as the chair. I think Dan Hartman is the attorney and a couple other people, okay? Christina refuses to admit, I'm just telling you what's going on. I'm not even taking a side here, folks. Christina and her group said it was an illegal meeting. I think Pat Kolbeck is with them. Nope, it wasn't right. They can't do that. So they just held a meeting, I think yesterday, in Houghton Lake in a storm. I forget what it was. And she got committee people, district chairs and stuff that are friendly to her meeting. And they had a vote that she will remain chair. So apparently she must have thought, well, maybe I did get removed from chair, but I'll just vote myself back in. But I'm hearing the meeting, she didn't follow the rules there, okay? So she's refusing to step down. And I just got an email from the other, the split party, the one that voted to remove her, because they made Melinda Pago, which was her co-chair. There's a falling out between them. So when they removed Christina, she became the temporary chair. So now they're holding a meeting January 20th to elect the new chair of the Michigan Republican Party for what they believe is their legitimate party, the Michigan Republican. See how screwed up this is? So you got Christina and her group, and then you got the other party. So there's a complete fracture in the Michigan Republican Party. And how are we supposed to raise money? How are we supposed to focus on winning the election in Michigan when we're dealing with this BS? I think, they all need to act like adults and all get together and just decide what someone's best quality is, put them in that position, unite, and let's just move forward and save our country. But, I'm just trying to be the voice of reason, and that doesn't seem to work much in our society anymore. The RNC could weigh in maybe and put an end to this. Otherwise, it's probably, there's going to be lawsuits and it's going to go to court. And it's a complete cover your ears, kids shit show. So that's all I got on that. Not good, folks, what's happening in Michigan. So I want to talk about the moral degradation of this country just for a minute, folks. So on the 11th of October, 1798, John Adams wrote a letter to the Massachusetts militia where he said, "Our Constitution is made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. Indeed, morality and virtue is what makes America great. And those honorable and trusted traits come from our Judeo-Christian society, like out of the 10 Commandments, where, we used to all live and abide by this stuff. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbors. You shall not covet, or how about honor your mother and father." But since the 1950s, when the nuclear family came under attack and the godless progressive agenda that has now been supercharged under this woke cult where they no longer believe in absolutes like mom and dad, male and female, that God made Adam and Eve, that that you're going to be held accountable for your actions during your life here on earth. This stuff was passed down for generations, learning good behavior, right and wrong. And that's why I'm just such a big believer in the nuclear family. We have to restore it. And I don't care about the racial makeup of the nuclear family. I'm talking a stable family with a mother and father that raise good kids. Don't let them participate in revisionary bullshit history. Make sure they're getting a true education, learning our real American history, and staying away from this woke cult that doesn't believe in absolutes, that you can be whatever you want. You're not going to be held responsible after this life. Live it any way you want to live it. If you were born a girl, you can be a boy. If you were born a boy, you can be a girl. Do whatever you want. There is no God, and they're wrong about that. They're basically doing Satan's bidding, but it's just sad to see that kids are so lost. And when they go out into society now, without knowing right from wrong, they will embrace evil. This is what John Adams was talking about, that our society, the Constitution, all of our founding documents will only hold our country together if it's a moral people and a virtuous people that try to do good, that are held to a higher standard. Just isn't the case now. And that's why our whole country is going to hell in a handbasket. So here's these articles. I'm just going to read the headlines because the headline says how egregious they are. And I don't need to go any further than that. But I see this stuff almost every day on the news cycle somewhere. Just not good. Doesn't get much more disturbing than this headline. At least 7 men in Texas filmed themselves gang raping 2 toddlers, a 2 and a 3-year-old, in a mall bathroom in Houston, and then I believe they put the videos on the internet. California prostitute arrested for live streaming herself stabbing her mother to death on Facebook. The moral fiber of this country is being torn into pieces, and we gotta get our moral compass back in line. And I believe it starts at church myself. I believe families need to work through their hardships like they used to. I mean, right now, the marriages, I think the average marriage doesn't make it 10 years. They just want if they're not getting, kids don't want to go through the hard times. well, I'm not getting, I don't really see where, I'm getting ahead with you. I think I'll just move on to another guy or vice versa. And that's not the way our grandparents made it, folks, or my parents. You think they didn't have marital issues and fought through that stuff? It makes your marriage stronger, by the way. But, first sign of trouble now, the kids just, run. Divorces are easy. Just, get a divorce and give it another try. And I think if there's physical abuse, that's a different deal. Then by all means, okay. I have no patience or for that kind of stuff. But other than if it's finances or just little marital spat and stuff like that, you just got to work through it. You'll be happier in the end. I can promise you that. As far as World War III is going, what's the latest update on that? So Taiwan won the election. Kind of the liberty, independence, they want to be a free Taiwan candidate, state in power. The Chinese communists are fuming. So we have to watch what Beijing does over the coming weeks. I mean, I'm hearing from some pretty good people in the intel community that China is going to take Taiwan by force, especially now as we get bogged down in the Red Sea. On that note, the Red Sea, the Houthis are really messing with trade, a trade route there. So you're going to see prices rise, folks, just from that alone. Not even the Biden inflation. This is going to be even on top of that. Looks like the liberal cons and the neocons and the Biden administration, the globalists, all want to go to war with Iran. So watch for that. And things with Russia are not getting better, okay? We're getting pulled further and further into that conflict. Joe has already warning Republicans that if you don't help me finance this, you'll pay a big price. They're talking about taking Russians' assets, I forget the number, $6 billion, and just stealing it from Russia and giving the money to Ukraine. If they do that, you watch what happens to America's to the dollar as a world currency. It won't last long. I think we're heading for some crazy times, and I don't know if you watched my video the other day. I shared this guy that's connected with somebody up in Google, way up, and they're already getting ready for a big event to where they're going to censor what you can say or can't say. They won't say what the event is. They said the Ides of March is on. We're getting ready. So does that mean it's going to happen in March? I don't know. Kind of terrifying, actually. I mean, we'll see. We're living in the year of chaos. So I hope everybody is prepping. You will find in the description of all my videos, folks, like China, we go to war with China, which I think is highly likely. All of our antibiotics and medicines come from China, folks. How stupid are we? You're not going to be able to get antibiotics. So like Jace Medical right now, to get the Jace case with the antibiotics, the ivermectin and whatever else you want, I'd be doing that. And I have an affiliate link in the description of this video, along with, if you go to Jace Medical, use discount code, capital letters, no spaces, SOL1773, SOL1773, and you'll save $10 right off the bat, okay, at Jace Medical. But I would be stocking up. I have an affiliate link to Harvest Right freeze dryers in the description of all my videos, along with an affiliate link to My Patriot Supply. And of course, if you feel like you're loaded up on everything and you're good, make sure you're getting a Just Sleep and help out Mike Lindell, who was just deplatformed by Fox News. Guy spends, what was he saying, $1 million a week in advertising with Fox News, and they deplatformed him. Because they can't, because he's with Trump. We're in election cycle, and they want to get Mike. Just not fair. So if you want to give Mike some love and also help this channel, use promo code SOL1773. I can't emphasize. I'm pretty sure everybody that watches this channel gets how important this election cycle is. It's like this is the last bite at the apple. We're either going to save America or we're going to lose it, and it's going to enter the 1,000 years of darkness that Reagan warned us about. Reagan said, if we lose freedom here, there is no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And that's absolutely the truth. So if you're new to this channel and can relate with the content, please subscribe, become a member of our community, share these videos, check mark the notification bell so you get all notifications going forward. Give the videos a thumbs up. It really amps up the algorithm and pushes the content out to a broader audience. Comment down below. I love reading your comments. May God continue to bless this great nation. May the good Lord keep you and yours safe. Until next time, Sons of Liberty out. See you guys.